Well, hey everybody, how we doing today? So this is the great eighth day. So something could happen tonight. Um, just got done looking through the news, and there's a live event going on currently where, yes, we struck another ceasefire with Iran. So yeah, I don't know how. And I said this might happen, right? The last Trump, something. Could we still have to go to the first? Yeah, but the reason I've had such a hard time looking at like the blue moon, right? Yeah, there's all kinds of push for the blue moon. I mean, it's everywhere. So I think that's part of the push. The stuff I see in music, it's just a couple lines here and there. It's not the theme, if you will, of the song, right? So again, I don't know. This is just a quick follow up from what I've been posting the last couple of days. That today would be the eighth day. So whether we got to go the next 4 days to the first to get to that blue moon, I'm not sure. But they did strike supposedly another ceasefire. So and Trump never wound up staying. And like I said, that's been another thing that's been pushed. Trump disappearing, the funerals. They had the thing in New York, like 5 years ago, where they reenacted the Julius Caesar thing in the park. You had the Kathy Griffith thing holding the bloody head. I mean, there's been so much promoting Trump's death that I think that's part of the push too. That ain't gonna. That's why I said they may just keep him for a minute. Who knows what his part's gonna be in this here as we get towards the end. And usually there's gonna have to be some kind of peace broker because it's like I said in a video a long time ago. This is the remnant church, the whole earth. It's everybody. It's little pieces parts, right? So when we say there's no war here, no war there, everybody's looking for world peace, that works out to galactic peace. So again, I'm not sure where all this is going to lead. We'll find out come tomorrow morning if everything has switched yet or not. But supposedly there's another ceasefire drawn up. Now they're saying that, these negotiations are going to drag on for several weeks. Like I said, they're always going to paint a picture down the road. There is always going to be a tomorrow. It's just not going to look like this. Whenever that event happens, it's just not going to look like this. I was talking to my uncle about this just last night. And discussing with him the whole idea of what true freedom is. And this is why our bodies have to be transformed, because to be truly free to do what you want, when you want, how you want, consciously, without killing people. Nobody does that, and you can't even count on that with your body, because you have to stop and sleep, you have to stop and rest, you have to stop and poop, for crying out loud, and pee and eat. We're part of it all. And would you have made a body, let's say, for your consciousness to go into and play in this world if you really had to stop and eat and poop and all that? No, you wouldn't have none of that. You would just be here, right? Present. So hopefully maybe a little bit of good news for what's going on over the next 24 hours with this ceasefire being put in place. And coincident, he was at Walter Reed yesterday. They didn't keep him, but the ceasefire was today. So technically, again, there's 1,000 years of peace, right? And it's been off and on because of the different time hops that we go through. There's one at the end of each time hop. So it is what it is. And those other time hops, like the clearing of the hopscotch board and the running out of Noah's dome, that's symbolically stuff that's replayed out of the past. They're all just time markers getting to these last few markers in time that we got to go through. So chin up, everything's looking good. It's major rainy here today, so I'm sure we're going to be indoors. But you know, again, they're calling for a ceasefire, and today's the 8th day, so we'll wait and see. I love you all. Have a great day. Bye bye.